Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. I want to say hello and welcome to our Lunch and Learn webinar today about getting more from SPNS9. I'm Brooke.PALM. I'm the Director of Customer Care for Systrans Software. Today's webinar will highlight some of the upgrades and enhancements in Systrans Pure Neural Machine Translation version 9.6. Our speaker today is Arjun, one of our technical account managers. Our webinar should last about 25 minutes, and then we will have some time at the end for questions and answers. Your speakers have been muted, so please send any questions through the chat box. And if we're not able to answer your question today, please send us an email and we will respond back to you directly. And now we're going to have Arjun with getting more from SPNS.
Thank you, Brooke. Really appreciate that. Thanks for setting up the stage for me. Hi, everyone. My name is Arjun Jaggi. It's 11:03 here in San Diego, and I work at Systran as a technical account manager. I'm in IT industry from a decade now, and I've been doing digital transformations and supporting solutions involving artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cybersecurity. So today I'm going to be talking about the features and enhancements with SPNS9. We have a latest version, which is 9.6. So I'll be walking you through quite a few enhancements we did recently. The agenda for today is I'm going to be walking you through the enhanced authentication, the easy migration from Google API, the rules-based API, PDF 3 ways. Now we have 3 ways to translate your PDF files. We have enhanced the access management, so I'll be showing you that. We have more security and stability with the solution. So I'll be showing you the new UI, new features, what we have to offer. And we'll wrap up with question and answers. And as Brooke said, you can always reach out to us. We'll be sharing our email with you at end of this presentation. So the first one is enhanced authentication. So with our new version, which is SPNS 9.6, now there is a possibility to configure OAuth authentication directly from GUI. So that's amazing. So OAuth, what's OAuth? OAuth is a delegated authorization framework for REST API. It enables apps to obtain limited access to a user's data without giving away a user's password. So it decouples the authentication from authorization, and it supports multiple use cases addressing different device capabilities. Just so everyone should understand what OAuth is, I just briefed you about that. So this is what we have in 9.6, new UI, to configure OAuth authentication. Moving on, we have now several authentication providers which can be used in parallel. Now we have local, SAML, OAuth, HTTP headers. You can have that using our dedicated URL endpoints. We have came up with blacklist and whitelist features. So with this group assignment, what I mean it with blacklist and whitelist group assignment, the server admins can now map group creation and association of each authentication provider. With the blacklist feature, it's gonna filter out groups when user is logging with external provider. And with the whitelist one, it's only gonna add groups that match one of the regular expressions pattern when a user is logging with an external provider. So you can whitelist and blacklist the users or the groups depending on the needs. The second one in today's agenda is the easy migration with Google API. So now we have done all the heavy lifting for you. You don't have to change any syntax or any coding. You can use the same Google API to integrate with Systrans solution seamlessly. So all you need is a new key, the same the same API can be used, and it's going to facilitate your GDPR compliance as well. If we have a few of the customers from Europe, now, I mean, we know that all these critical information, your social security, banking account information, everything has to be protected. It should not be going out from the organization or from the country. So a lot of users, a lot of organizations are moving from Google, and then we have a solution right here, which is Systran. Just showing you an example in the table below, like you use API to see the current version, or translate text from source language to the target language to detect any language of the text. So basically the same APIs can be used just with a new key. Also, we've come up with rules-based API. So what rule-based API is gives you the possibility to either allow or deny users. You can apply all these allowances and restrictions on the SES gateway. It basically works like a firewall, for the access. And if the conditions are satisfied, the users would be allowed, or a group of users would be allowed access to do certain tasks, like for translation. You can define the expressions for that. So it's not just for users. As I said, it can be applied to a group of users. Just to show an example how to create a rules-based API, you can configure a rule. In configuration, you can create a rule and affect the rule to a set of group and users. And then rules application, it's basically to make a request to match the rule. And if that rule is matched, if the rule matched has a deny action, then the error will be returned with the rule name. For example, a user should not be allowed to translate more than 10 pages of the document, or maybe more than 15,000 characters. So you can set a regular expression for that particular user or for that group, and then it will be returned, an error message will be returned. For example, you don't have the required authorization, or probably reach out to your manager or the upper management, or maybe the the stakeholders to perform this particular activity. So just to show an example, the user can have these the following rules: rule A, rule B, rule C, for a specific profile. And to translate, you can have comparator, like equal to, like less than. You can have the regular expression as you want. And then you can have conditions. You can specify a value, like here it says 1,000, and like the action should be denied on this particular rule. PDF three ways. So now there is a new converter we have. We call it precise easy converter. And like basically, if you have a if it's a scanned PDF, it has to go through the OCR. And if it's an editable PDF, you can still force it through the OCR, but you have a new option, which is precise PDF. Basically, if you don't know whether it's a scanned or an editable PDF, you can use auto mode. So what auto mode will do, it will try first with the precise PDF, and it will switch to OCR for scanned image. Also, we still have the fast PDF as an option. I mean, it's gonna lose all the formatting, but it's pretty good for e-discovery. And so with easy converter integration, I mean, as you see in the on the slide, the improved file translation feature in SPNS 9.6 has been improved. Easy converter is basically the SDK that that powers up websites like pdfonline.com, and it provides better results than any OCR of this PDF file. Moving on to access management enhanced. Now we have like new permissions. It's more fine grained, And you can have permissions to manage all the server profiles, to create and share public profiles, um, and update profile TRs, which is gonna let users to modify TR for a selected profile, to list all the server dictionaries, to view all the server normalizations, list all the server translation memories, and then finally, like to manage all the rules in which you can have all these users to access, the rules API feature. And with security and stability enhancements, basically to enhance the security, the API key system has been reviewed. A new UI for API key has been implemented now. So with this, you can have a referrer, and you can mention the URL from which the request will be accepted, and the IP address, from which the request can be accepted. So the API security has been improved with this new UI, and I think this UI is available in the version 9.6. And we have more stability and security with our SPNS now. Now in 9.6, the latest version, it's possible to set a password authentication in Redis config files, and re-authentication is now mandatory. If user is exchanging any information, so the user session is going to be, I'm saying correctly, destroyed, because he's not going to be kicked out. However, he's going to be redirected to a sign-in page if he changes any of his email or password. And we've done the XML parser security in the earlier version. I thought of showing that in this presentation because XML is still attractive to all these attackers. So we have done quite a few enhancements with XML to make sure the information is protected and kept out, and should not be basically exposed to the outside environment. So here I wrap up my presentation, and I appreciate everyone to join from your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, then please feel free to Brooke. Brooke is our director of customer care, and now I hand over to Brooke if you had any questions during the webinar, or if there is anything we can do to answer them in our chat window.
Great, thank you, Arjun. We appreciate that. And we didn't have any questions come through, but if you're wondering about the new PDF 3 ways, just let us know if you want a demo of that. We can do that for you. We want to thank you for joining us today, and a recording of the webinar will be made available to all attendees. And also, as a thank you, Systrand Software is also going to be donating $5 for each attendee today to the San Diego Food Bank as part of our effort to help with the COVID-19 pandemic. But like I said, if you have any questions, send them out to me, email me, give me a call, however you want to contact me, and the recording will be available shortly. And thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate it.